All right. Hi, guys. Thanks for coming to, I guess this is our third or fourth Moving Forward Virtual Connection series. I am Amy, the membership coordinator for the Chamber. So thank y'all for logging in today. 2 weeks ago, we did a digital marketing one and it was pretty popular. We had lots of questions about SEO optimization, and Bill touched a little briefly on, mentioned that word geofencing, and got lots of questions about what that is and how it can benefit you guys. And sorry, Mark's not here today, so I'm playing admin to the room and running this. So here we go. So we're just going to do it casual like we did a couple weeks ago if you guys weren't here, and we've got some experts here that are going to talk about it, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. And just wanted to give a shout out to Connect Annapolis BG&E. They have been our sponsor for this program. If you've been on the calls, you've heard us talk about it. They're not here today, but just wanted to let y'all know they have a program where they will put smart technology in your business. It will save money. You get an app on your phone. You can check your temperature, change everything while you're at home to your office. It's free, and they've got great incentives. So I will, once we get started, I'll post their information on here where you guys can contact them. If you are in Annapolis, you are eligible. And if that is something you're interested in, it will save you money on your electric bill in your office as soon as we can all go back to our offices. So that being said, I will hand it over to Marty and Jeanette with the Jeannie with the Capital Gazette, and they are going to talk a little about digital advertising and some helpful tools for you guys. So.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, I'm actually going to turn it over to Janine, who's our digital specialist, but I'll quickly introduce myself. My name is Marty Padden, and I'm the advertising director at the Capital Gazette. And Janine is our digital specialist, and we're really happy to be here. And hopefully we can share some information, some tips, and some best practices on SEO and SEM. These are great tactics for small businesses to compete and be seen by in a very crowded marketplace. We want it to be very informal and interactive. So if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. So with that said, I'll turn it over to Janine Daly.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Marty. Thanks, Amy. And I actually know a few people on here. Hi, Tracy. And Jean. How are you, Jean? But I hope everyone's doing well. And I don't know how many have small to medium-sized businesses, or if everyone is even familiar with SEO, SEM, but I'm going to just kind of blanket statement as try to be as kind of dumb it down so that everyone understands. And first of all, I want to give you my email. It's jdaly@baltsun.com, and my phone number at 410-212-2091, only because if we go through this, I know we have like 10 minutes. If there's questions or anything like that you didn't get answered, or you think of something later, feel free to text me, call me, email me, no matter what, I'll answer your questions. So I want this to be informal and informative. So is everyone familiar with SEO? I don't know how to shake your heads, those. Yeah. Okay. So starting off, does anyone have any questions about it? Does everyone understand SEO, SEM, and the differences? I see someone. Okay. Something that I like to say about SEO and SEM is kind of like old school telephone book. We all most likely got the telephone book when we were growing up and we sat on it. And so your SEO is your search engine optimization, and that is the white pages of the telephone book, where you actually know the name of the business and you go to the white pages and you call the person, you look it up and you call them. That's your SEO. Basically, it's organic traffic. You know exactly what you're looking for and you can pull it up. Your search engine management is actually the things that you paid the yellow pages when you're like, I want to be on the top of the list and be first. That is your SEM. And then your website is obviously your business card. And that is today the digital footprint of the world now and how we work. So that is something really important that people have, in every marketing thing that you do within the world of SEO and SEM is only going to impact your your SEO and SEM, and that's kind of how it works in a nutshell. But it's hard to have this conversation without getting feedback. Does anyone have any questions? Everyone's on mute, and I'd rather talk about, you know, everything from your SEO and your SEM, from, you know, whether you're doing programmatic ads or you're doing social, you're doing any of that type of marketing. Your SEM, for most of my clients, your SEO is just your keywords and your meta tags and title tags and everything that is the back end of your website. And then your SEM is things that you pay for, your, you know, your pay-per-click, your AdWords. And most of my clients who don't have a large business tend to go the SEM route because they can get phone calls and leads. And so that's something that they like to, obviously they want their phone to ring and they want people to sign up or call them or email them. So that is, you know, is everyone using SEM at this moment in time? No? Okay, so is that something that is important to understand, how you use either one or which one? Okay, I'm finally getting, I'm getting feedback.
You did get a question. Somebody, Dan with Loyal Dog Consulting, has asked, how do you start with SEM?
So, great question. So basically, the world of SEM is you create an ad budget that you can afford. Some people tend to, I have clients that are like, well, you know, my pay-per-click is $10,000 a month. I can't, you know, I can't afford to do anything else. Well, what we try to do is you want to back up. Obviously, no one, you know, in this world, probably in this room, has that much for any kind of advertising that costs that much money a month. So we want to stick small. So what we do is we pick about 20 to 30 keywords that are important to your business, and then maybe some competitors to your business. And we create a campaign around those keywords. And then what we also do is create ad groups. And ad groups are, I'm just going to give an example of one of my clients that might be helpful, that is doing a SEM campaign, and that is a school. So Archbishop Spalding, is everyone familiar with Archbishop Spalding? It's a high school. So they have a need. They compete against other private schools. So St. Mary's, Key School, Indian Creek, and so on. There's a big list. So they have a need to push out the general information of admissions and just Spalding as a whole. That's one ad group. And in that ad group, they have about 30 to 35 keywords. And that is, you know, Catholic school, private school, so on. And then all the competitors in there, you know, high school, just, you can think of all these keywords that are important to that particular ad group. And we actually create, and I can show you, I can send examples to anyone who wants to see examples of an ad group, which is like, you know, call today for a tour. And let's just pretend we're in a world where we can do that right now. So, you know, call us today for a tour, or admissions, you know, fill out a form, and so on. The next ad group, and this is all within one campaign, the next ad group is summer camps. So that's important to them because they do a variety of summer camps. And then they talk about engineering, you know, or sports camps and so on, and everything that when someone's searching, you know, summer camps near me, or, you know, field hockey camps near me, or, and so on. So you get that gist. And then the third group could be, you know, special, theirs happens to be engineering and learning differences for, they have a special program that is for learning disabilities. So that is the third group. And so those three ad groups we push out in a campaign, and that's how we get started. And you basically will get phone calls. We put a click to call. We create, and this is the part where you don't have to actually know exactly how it goes, because you want a company and you want a partner to do it for you. But understanding what goes into that infrastructure is the optimization and the built out. So typically the campaigns start about $1,000 to $1,400 a month, and you can, I'm sorry, I'm probably talking too fast. But for instance, the Spalding campaign, you have we do like a request for proposal that can tell you how much is in that area. So for Spalding in that Severn, Maryland area, we actually draw a 30-mile radius around that business because that's where they get their customers. So we create a geo-targeted area. So 30 miles around Spalding. And in that area, there is a lot of capabilities to reach that targeted audience of parents of middle schoolers who want to perhaps go to a private school. So that is a budget of about $5,000 to $7,000 a month. But you guys, let's just say they only have $1,500 to spend on that. So we take that $1,500 and we optimize based on the budget that you want, so you get the most bang for your buck and the most quality people to go to your website, to go and get more information or call you. So you have two different things going on at the same time. You have people who want to call you, and that can be straight to your cell phone, to your business line. Right now, I've had to make a lot of changes in the campaigns because people aren't in their office anymore. So we've had to change the phone numbers and change things to go virtual. So that's something that, is completely fluid. You can change it however often you want. Does that answer the question about how you get set up? Okay, thanks, Dan. What about the other person that had a question?
I have a question.
Yep.
Yes.
So I think it would be helpful to kind of talk a little bit about how aligning content with your campaign can really boost your rankings.
Well, that's SEO. So search engine optimization has everything to do with content and keywords. So SEO is your organic traffic. So when a lot of people, like I said in the white pages of the telephone book, people know who you are. If they know who you are, then you have your special keywords and people can search you. And the more content you push out, the more blog posts, the more social, the more people obviously get to know you. And that's internal marketing. And then external marketing is actually putting out paid advertising. But the more you put into the infrastructure of your website, the more Google is going to deem you attractive to be searched. And basically we can audit all of your websites at no cost and let you know where Google deems your SEO or anything, that your usability, your performance, slow performance on campaigns affects your SEO optimization, usability, security, all of those things that go into your website. That is how they capture and say, you know what, we're going to give you a C. And if you have a C, you're not going to get that kind of high ranking keyword capability you'll be on the second or third page organically. And that's where you obviously aren't going to be seen. So it's kind of a popularity contest, to be a lack of a better word. It is, and nowadays SEO and SEM used to be, kind of this perfect marriage, and now they're really separate. And because of that, it's like, that's why you have to purchase pay-per-click and SEM, because they're saying, you know what, you can't just rely on SEO to give you your business digital footprint. You need to do more now. And that's kind of the unfortunate piece of the digital world, is that you can't just rely on, oh, I'm going to build a website and people are going to come because I did it. You need to put a lot of information in the back end, and that is meta tags and title tags and keywords. And then you actually have to market your website. And when you do that, that's how so in doing that, there's a lot that you can obviously partner with companies that can help you. But with all of our SEO campaigns, it comes with we write content for you. It's included. So 2 times a month, we'll put blog posts and things like that to help you. So that's what begins. And SEO is really a long view. It's not something that's going to, turn on tomorrow and you're going to see the effects immediately. SEM, you're going to see the effects immediately. SEO is something that you obviously want to do it. You have to do it long-term so that you capture that long-term business. But if you want something that's at the bottom of, the bottom of the funnel, the buy right now, you need to do SEM immediately to get that kind of effect. Questions? Marty, anything?
No, I think you explained it. There's a lot to take in, so I know this is a very brief time, but we will get you our contact information if you would like to know more.
Yes, it's easier. It's definitely easier when you're talking about a specific business, and because every business is unique. And
so Janine, this is Ricky with ServPro of Annapolis.
I talked to you earlier today.
So yeah, so you can certainly use us as an example because we're a lower end, I guess, budget search engine marketing. I do all the SEO for us. But we needed to, at this time with the coronavirus, we needed to increase our digital footprint. So Janine put together a 3-month package for us.
Yes, and she's actually utilizing, so there's many different things that you can do, but what Ricky and ServPro wanted to do is they wanted to align themselves with our business readers and people who own businesses, obviously, to have this unique tech, well, I don't know if it's a technology, but it's what would you say it is, Ricky?
We have a unique product and cleaning. We're cleaning experts. We've been doing cleaning bioremediation for 30-something years. So we're ready and trained to handle this type of cleanup. So we're specifically targeting facilities managers, business managers. We've already done some COVID cleaning at schools. We're wearing PPE. And so Janine developed a campaign for us.
And that's going to, so what we're doing is pushing out marketing in more of a display on site on capgas.com in what's called a lighthouse, which is an 800 by 600 ad unit, and push out across our on site. And then that will inevitably push out their SEO and their SEM as more people are going to see it. And that's how it actually just, that is the perfect marriage, is marketing with to garner a strong SEO campaign or organic search campaign. And then alongside your SEM can be more engaging and have people, when they're, everybody does it. I mean, you think about it, when you're Googling, whatever comes up first, that's what you end up hitting them. Or unless you're really savvy, you're like, I'm going to pick the third one that doesn't have an ad. But most people now just click the first one because that's what they're Googling. And if you think about your own, what you do on a daily basis, you're Googling, you're Yahooing or whatever, Bing, whatever you use. And then you pick what hits most of what you're looking for. So thank you, Ricky, for the alignment. We also do obviously social and targeted display and everything under the sun in digital that helps your SEO and your SEM. It's just one of those tactics. And what we like to do is we understand that it's a small business and you don't have a huge budget, and we can work. We're owned by Tribune. Excuse my dogs. We're owned by Tribune, so we're able to actually help that small business with not a huge budget to help you grow. And that's kind of the whole point, is that we want to help you grow in a way that is affordable to your budget. And then as you grow, the more you'll want to do.
Somebody has asked you to expand on meta tags and the importance of them.
So that's a very good question. And meta tags is typically built within the person who did your website. And a lot of times people come back and say, oh, I have a WordPress, or I have an old website that doesn't have anything in it. And so right now, actually, I'm dealing with a small dog kennel. Well, they don't like to call it kennel anymore, but it's called Beach Nut. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. They're in Edgewater, and they're a small business. And if you look at her website, it actually looks really pretty. However, the back-end analytics, the meta tags and title tags are very, very old. And those, if they're not improved upon timely, those keywords, everything, it kind of goes back to Google says, you're not searchable. And so you're going to be at the bottom organic. And so we're actually redoing their website and adding in, kind of a fresh SEO which is all included in the website development. And then she's moving to an SEM and social campaign moving forward. And she has, actually she got a little bit of PPE money, so that's how she's utilizing it. It's $600. Just so you know, you don't have to spend a fortune on a website. You can really you can put a really nice templated website nowadays, and you can get people to you can get consulting every month to host and update your website so that your SEO will automatically be deemed likable by Google, so that you're searchable organically at the top.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Great information. And would you mind putting, some people have asked for your contact info that you gave in the beginning. Would you mind typing that into the chat, and then everybody will have it? All right. From there, we'll go on to Bill with Balance Logic. He's going to expand on SEO and whatever else he wants, or whatever questions everyone has.
Whatever else I want. Awesome. Good afternoon, everybody. I appreciate you having me back here. Last week's SEO went very well, and I had a bunch of phone calls and LinkedIn, and so I'm glad to be back to talk about it more. Thanks, Janine, for giving that overview, or in your point of view of the SEO and SEM, and I'll take my opportunity to kind of do the same. When I teach my seminars and things like that, I like to go back to the beginning and kind of break things down. So to give, SEO sounds so scary. It sounds like it's this big thing from outer space. And now, Janine threw a new one in there of SEM, which, is a whole nother alien term. So I'll kind of make it a little bit simpler, kind of in my mind, to understand. So we all know the internet is a huge place, right? And we all put a website out there on the internet, and there's a reason we put a website out there. We put a website out there so people can see us, find us, and basically give us a 24/7 by 365 presence, whereas our brick and mortars, our homes and things that are not available to everybody. So the internet is a great place to have our business, where at any time of day, any time of night, somebody can go and find information out, right? And then search engines, Google, Bing, MSN, whatever it may be, were designed so where you can search those, what we call properties. So if you look at a city, right, all the houses and buildings are all different properties in the city. Well, the internet is just a big virtual city, and all the websites are different properties in that city. And you break those down just like we do in geographical areas, by city, by state, by zip code, and SEO works the same exact way. So it's basically, internet is basically a virtual city. So if we have a website out there and it's just a standard basic template website, and you throw up your standard 5 pages, your home, your about, your contact us, and a services page, and you throw a couple paragraphs up there about what you do, which is probably the majority of small businesses, that's what they do with their website. Well, nobody's gonna find you, nobody's gonna be able to read your information, and you're gonna go stale and stagnant. So they came out with a way of being able to apply strategic tactics of things that you can do to be able to be found on the internet. And like I had talked about last week, SEO is really very simple in the fact that if you look at it to a political campaign, politicians get elected for 2 main reasons: popularity and relevance, right? How popular they are and how relevant they are of telling us what the current events are and how they're going to solve all of our problems, right? Which most of the time that never happens. But so SEO is exactly the same way. It's about relevance and popularity. So what you have to do in order to be more popular and more relevant is all about content. 99% content. You can do, we talked about meta tags, and there's an answer about meta tags. Your meta tags and your title tags are very simple. At the top of your page, you have a page name, right? A page title, and there's a page description under that. Just like if you look at a 5-ring binder that has dividers in it. Each divider or each tab has a title, right? You write something on it so you can tell what that tab is. Exactly the same way with the website. Each page has a page title, and then there's a description written for it. Those things are called meta tags. And then you have header tags. You have your page title, your page description, and then what the big text at the top of each page is, that's a header tag. Those 3 things are the 3 most important things that are used in order to be found on Google. So the importance of those meta tags or those informational sections that's what the Google algorithms use in order to index or find your site, right? So let me go back 1 second. So we have the world of the internet. We all have websites. So how does all that work? What happens is you host your website there on the internet. And then what happens, Google goes out and it sends something out and says, hey, I want to find everybody out in the world, right? And then your website says, hello, I'm here, and sends something back to Google. Google looks at your website and says, nope, your website's garbage. We're not going to include you in our little community, so forget about you. They go to the next website and say, oh, you've got really great content there. You've got all the title tags and your H1 tags. You're in alignment, right? You're conforming to what our standard is of our community, and you're pretty popular because we notice that people are going to your site. So we're going to include you in our community, right? So that's called crawling. It's crawling your website, and then it creates an index, a big database of all the websites out there on the internet. So now that you have this big database out there on the internet of all these websites, how is it possible when you type something in that all these different results come, right? There's millions and millions of pages. So how is your website be able to come to the top? How can somebody find yours before somebody else is found? Why are you up at the top, or why are you in the top 10? Because you're more popular, you're more relevant. So Google says, okay, I looked at your website, you conform to what we're looking for, and there's a lot of people going to it, and you're talking about COVID-19, or you're talking about politics because it's an election year. So you're more relevant to what people are looking for, so we're going to stick you at the top. So that's basically an overview of how the internet works and how the websites are collected and how they're indexed, and then how you're found, right? But how do you as a small business be able to join that community? How are you able to be found? How do you conform? And that's where the meta tag information comes in. Conform to, make sure you have a title, make sure you have a page description, make sure you have X, Y, and Z, these whole list of things. But that's not it. That's just saying that you conform. But how do you become more popular and relevant? And that's where SEO comes in. And that's where the 99% comes in of content. You have to write content. Absolutely. You can have the sexiest website on the internet, but you're just going to be looking at it yourself. Nobody else is going to look at it because they can't find it, right? So you have to have content. You have to, just like, SEO is marketing. SEO is a subsection of marketing, right? So just like any other marketing activity, you have to tell your story. Website is no different. Whether you have a brochure or a business card, whatever it is, you have to tell your story. So your website is the perfect and biggest opportunity to tell the story about your company. Why are you in business? What do you do? Why did you start your business? What are your specialties? That's a great start. And then what makes you more important and more relevant is the reason why you have a website, right? It's an informational brochure, if you will, but it's also there to answer our questions, right? Why do we do searches on Google? We search Google because we have a question. 99%, or I'll say 90%, is we have a question. How do I do this? What is this for? What color is this? Who played this? Who did that? We're asking questions. So your website needs to answer those questions, right? So you need to be able to, write your information, process your information, and predict what your target audience, right? Because when we do marketing, we market to our target audience, who's most likely to buy from us. So we have to predict and think of the questions that they're going to ask. You know, if you're a cleaning company or you're an advertising company and I'm a small business, one of the things I'm going to ask is, how can I do SEO, or how can I afford this, or is this for me, or how do I do this specific thing, right? So try and predict the questions that your target audience is going to ask, and then that's how you write your content. Because that's the whole purpose of having a website, is to keep your business open 24/7. Most of the times when somebody calls you on the phone and they call your business, they don't make a statement, they ask a question, right? So it's the same thing. When they go to your website, they're looking for an answer to a question. So you have to write all the information about your business, but answer questions. You know, what is this right for my business? Whatever your business may be. And then once you do that, and you conform and you use the tactics and strategy, and you constantly update your content to be more relevant, you're gonna get found. Now there's two types of that on the internet, and Janine covered that. You have SEO and SEM. SEO is what we call organic, or it means it happens automatically. SEM is something that you pay for. So if you don't want to do SEO, you want to pay a bunch of money for people to click on things, then that's what SEO is. That's search engine management. You're managing the funds that you put out there for the search engine. That's how I correlate it. So, but the biggest challenge is, you know, there's a big fight between those two. That marriage got divorced, if you will, because what was happening is those three things if you do any Google search, you're going to see three things at the top. The first three things you're going to see right next to it, it says the word ad. That's what you do when you do SEM. When you pay for advertisements or Google ads, that's what's over there. Those are the top three. So when you pay for something, it goes there. But you have the same challenge as in being popular and relevant. Not everybody can get that ad space. So the more you pay, the more impressions, the more clicks. And then if you geo-target it, whether it's in Annapolis area, then you'll show up there. But the biggest challenge with that is, and this is a big problem, is that your competitor is going to see your ad there. And what are they going to do? They're going to do click, 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 click. And you pay by number of clicks, or you pay by number of impressions. So either you're going to click on it or you're going to refresh the page. So it's just, you know, people do that out there. It's a real thing, you know? But if you want to be at the top and you're right there in front of people, you have to pay for it. And that's what SEM is. If you want things organically and you want to build it over time, that's what's going to be SEO, and it's going to be organically. In the marketing and advertising world, I know Gene will probably throw something at me through the camera, but most people pretend not to be forced to do things, right? We like to do things organically. You know, searching the internet and doing business is just like a relationship. You know, we want to take it organically. We want to be slow. We don't want to have it thrown in our face, right? So those are the two biggest distinctions of SEO and SEM. And SEO is a long-term thing. It's not something that you can just, okay, I conform, I have SEO. No, you have to write your content. You have to update your content. Videos is the king of content, obviously, because Google owns YouTube. You know, whether it's blogs, and when we do marketing for our marketing clients, we always tell them to write press releases. You'd be surprised how many small businesses do not write press releases. It's insane. So, and then there's a whole bunch of other things that you can do to back up your SEO or improve your SEO, whether it's backlinks or directories or things like that. But I won't go into that detail. If anybody wants to know more about that, obviously they can contact me. But that's my version of the SEO and SEO versus SEM.
Cool. Thank you, Bill. I don't have any questions in the chat yet, but we'll see if there's any at the end.
No, I wouldn't throw anything at you, Bill.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I do think when organic traffic is obviously ideal, I just think if you don't know that someone's there, then you won't know to organically search them. So marketing is key.
Right, and that's a whole nother kind of conversation, because then you can teach clients of how to actually search.
Right.
There's ways to search, and then if anybody's ever gone to my seminar, I know Ron's been to one or two of mine. You know, I teach about Google operators, and there's a certain secrets of Google where you can actually type things in and get exactly what you want.
Right. It's just that some people aren't as, you know, when you're dealing with the world and
Yeah.
audience, you know.
We always have the 10%.
Okay. So, but we're
Ready, Amy?
All right, Ron with landmarks.
Let's go through and see time left. All right, we got enough time. Gonna bring up a couple of slides if it'll help us get through this quicker. Landmarks, we've been kind of, you know, pivoting for the last 32 years. We started 32 years ago when we started the Visitors Bureau, putting the hardbound books in the hotel rooms, expanded to 10 cities. But realize you have to be an agent of change rather than a victim. And we've moved into the digital realm with some pretty advanced technology from the people we partnered with. One of which is intent-based market research. Let me see if I can show this video. This will fill you in on that.
Are you going to share your screen?
Yeah. Is it up? Not up?
It's not up.
Okay. Close that then and come. Let's see. Where are we at here? Here's the Zoom. Let's see. Did I lose you there, Amy?
No, I'm here. Is it that one that you emailed me? I can pull it up. I have it.
Yeah, if you could, that would be great.
Okay. Hang on. Can everybody see that?
I can see all the passwords Ron has in there.
See, somehow. Okay, I'm back. Did you get the video to play?
Yes. We done?
Yeah, the other thing, and let's see if I'm trying to pull up those slides, but I guess everybody's not seeing the slides.
Hold on, I'm trying to get it off.
Zoom link, post attendee, training portal.
There. Okay.
Well, we do a variety of tactics. I'll go without the slides, but you know, intent-based marketing enables us to go after the 10% of the people in the market that are interested in your service and not get a more efficient use of ad dollars. You know, and we create clicks that are targeted to people that have shown an interest online for your services. So if you're an attorney, people are in many cases going online searching for an attorney. Assisted living has been a big category for us. Restaurants. Now we can create through the targeted market impressions that are placed programmatically on hundreds of thousands of websites. So when we work a campaign, you might get anywhere from 100,000 to 1 million market impressions, and then a report on a regular basis that shows what the click rate has been and what the conversion rate has been. So restaurants are obviously kind of experiencing a tough time. When we measure the gift cards, the banquet requests, the reservations that are made, the traffic is created, and surprisingly the walk-ins. We've increased restaurateurs' business by roughly $100,000 a year based on the numbers that we've created in those 5 areas we can measure and estimate returns. So it's the ROI that's really been the beautiful thing about the technology, is it enables us to develop a campaign where you can measure your return on that investment whether it's a 3-month, a 6-month, or a 1-year campaign. And so, for example, with the geofencing for our federal house, we geofenced the Naval Academy, which is a very difficult area to advertise in. I mean, go to the Naval Academy and say, I'd like to put up an ad, and I don't see what they say. But we deliver about 150,000 market impressions into the Academy, and he can measure about 70, 80 walk-ins that result from that, which is measured by when you walk in. Most people, 98% of the time, have their locator turned on. So that was used as a way of measuring who's coming into your place of business that has been exposed to your ad. It's a lot of other things, but if you go to landmarks.digital, no .com required, landmarks.digital, it gives you a pretty good overview of all the different strategies that we use, the geofencing, the intent-based marketing, the measurability through the widgets that are placed, not the widgets, but the technology that we place on the website that enables us to accurately measure the responses that you're getting from your investment. So it's landmarks.digital, Ron Spatura. It's got our phone number and all the other good things. So that's what we do.
I just popped your website up on the chat. Does anybody have any specific questions for Ron in regards to geofencing and what it is or how it works? All right. Dave Carter had a good question. It kind of sounds from, he says, the big problem I see is small businesses trying to compete with dollar-wise with the larger companies, and maybe elaborate on that in regards to SEM. Kind of sounds like the PPP going on right now. Does anybody, either one of you, either one?
I have an example of,
Yeah.
You know, I like to use examples. I have a client who, a lot of clients actually in the home remodeling project, that kind of client, but they are, you know, a lot of roofers and things like that, remodelers, they're small, but then they go against like Home Advisor, who is a monster and owns all of, basically they take over the SEM. They're always first. So how do you go about that? I mean, is that kind of what you're saying, Dave? Yeah, okay. So, actually, and I also have like Spring Arbor, who's going against A Place for Mom, and all of these, you know, or any of those kind of things. And that is actually something specific. I really do think and Bill might, I really do think that the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain is really the person who is doing the actual optimizing does matter. It's not a set it and forget it kind of campaign. And you just, you know, you really need someone pulling those, you know, making sure those keywords are accurate and that we're, you know, you're taking them off if they're not, if no one's hitting them, so that you're not wasting those, you know, bad clicks, and creating an audience pool that is actually customers or clients. So what I did for, you know, anybody that goes against Home Advisor, it really is creating us a niche, because these clients don't have a large budget and they do want to win that click. So it's creating more of a specific area and being really, what's the word, deliberate with who you're trying to target, and knowing those, you know, top 25 keywords and not doing, you know, 1,000 of them or 100, because it's just too many. You want to get the right person, the right, and with the right click, so that that phone will ring or that form fill will be filled, and that's the right, you know, it's obviously valid. So I think it does, you are going to compete against them, but they're not always going to win. And so being, you know, deliberate with where you want to do it with zip codes or areas or that type of thing. And then having that quality keyword, and then having the right person managing it by, you know, literally daily, is how you're going to kind of compete against those large conglomerates and people who have those algorithms, but you are going to win. And that was one of the things I can tell you with Spring Arbor. They were like, you know, we're never going to win again. You know, they have to spend like $1,000.
If we might.
What?
let's see if I can add to that or
Yeah.
question. The measurability, I think, we have campaigns that start as low as $6.95 a month. And some of the things that people like about what we do is they don't have to hire somebody to manage the Facebook campaign or whatever it is. A lot of the targeting methods today, not only you pay for it, but you pay for somebody to manage it. And when people spend, let's say, $1,000 a month, and we can measure 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 coming back, it becomes very affordable for the local business person.
Yeah, I just want to add one other thing to your question, Dave, and that is a great way for a small business to dominate is geofencing, because you can really dominate a very small targeted area, and that I think gives you a great way for a small business to compete against larger businesses.
All right, anybody else have any other questions? I don't see anything coming through. I have just a general question that I just thought of. How, I don't know if either of you know. So like if you're searching for, so if I'm searching for an IT company on Google, there's usually only like 2 ads, or, you know, it's a limited amount. And then is that the organic list that's after? And then what determines, how many businesses, what determines which businesses are the ones that are the ads? Is this how much money you paid, or?
SEM. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a pay per click. So yeah, it's, and then obviously the SEO goes back to all the importance of the meta tags and title tags, and how searchable, you know, Google deems your site to be.
Exactly.
What she said.
What she said. We're all saying the same thing. It's just, you know, I really think that the basis of all of this is that I did read an article about Rite Aid a couple weeks ago, and they're all blending now from whatever day it was, but it was in Q4, they moved to an app and more of a virtual, you know, not knowing that COVID was going to happen. And had they not transitioned their very brick and mortar kind of, you know, the way that they marketed themselves, they would be completely, you know, they would be out of business right now. So that the whole article was, and it's on my LinkedIn, I posted it. It's a really interesting article about how they, you know, they knew it was just something that took them, they knew they had to transfer and have more of a digital footprint. They just were kind of slow to get to that point. And, you know, they kind of did it in the nick of time. So, you know, that's kind of how we all want to help, you know, the local businesses in Annapolis to survive and be there. And those who market really do. There's other articles that I've read about on Forbes that those who maintain a presence will start off much better when we do relaunch and reopen everything. They will be better off.
Yeah, I think it all goes back to, you know, marketing as a whole. You're not going to get by just by doing SEO. You're not going to get by putting money into SEM. I mean, you have to have a marketing strategy. The best way, it's the, you know, David and Goliath thing. You know, if you want to attack is probably a strong word, but if you want to compete against a larger company, that you have to be strategic, because obviously you don't have the manpower or the money to do it. And that's, you know, that's the bully effect. So you have to be strategic. You have to look at multiple ways in order to market your company. And marketing is not advertising, right? Marketing is about putting a variety of different activities together to talk about your company, communicate what you do and who you are and what you do well. And it's a combination of a website, a well-designed website with great, informative, and valuable content. It's SEO, it's SEM, it's business cards, it's, you know, it's the giveaways, and obviously that doesn't apply right now because you can't really give people things, but it's creating videos, it's doing press releases, it's attacking from different angles, so to speak, as one big strategy. It's not, let me put a couple $1,000s to SEM and expect to get all these clients. It's just not going to happen. I mean, a small percentage it may work, but you have to put a complete strategy together. And I think that's the only way to compete, not only against your standard competition, but against the bigger companies as well.
All right, cool. Well, thank you guys. I took away, I like to call them nuggets when I attend different seminars and things. I've got lots of notes that the internet is a virtual city, video is king of content, popular and relevant content. So lots of things. I hope everybody else walked away with nuggets. Just wanted to make sure that you guys saw we were going to have our Economic Outlook Luncheon. Was going to be May 7th at Maryland Live Casino. We are still moving forward with having that event. It's going to be a webinar. It's going to be on May 12th. And Anirban Basu is a very popular noted economist who spoke at last year's event. He is still willing and able to speak via virtual meetings. So this topic has never been more relevant. Now he's geared it towards what is this post-COVID-19 economy going to look like, specifically here in Anne Arundel County for our businesses here. So it is free. So there's no reason that you shouldn't attend. It's going to be on May 12th at 3 o'clock. So that will be our Tuesday moving forward virtual connection series webinar that day. So not next week, but the week after that. So hopefully you guys will join us on that. For registration information is up on the website right now, so you can register for that. And we're likely going to be doing it via this Zoom platform, but the webinar version. So,
Amy, I'm going to send you some information just so you can share with those who were attended and anybody else who's interested, just to FYI information.
Yeah, that would be great. We had about over 30 RSVPs and not everybody made it. So I will send that out so all the people that were interested and registered will get it along with the copy of the digital version. So
great. Thank you so much.
Hey,
all right, bye guys. Thanks for speaking to us.
Thanks, Ron.
Meeting.
Nice seeing you.
Say bye, Jesse.